Welcome to the Fellow 2021 Winter Update. We're so excited to have you all here. My name is Aydin. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders here at Fellow, and I'm very excited to show you and guide you through what we're going to go through today. Last time around when we did our Fellow 2.1 update, we showed you our Chrome extension, our desktop app, our MS Teams app, and so many features including highlights and colors and images and all the different things that we think are going to make your meetings great. You know, when we kind of look out there and see what's happened with remote work and everything else, I think people everywhere are scrambling to figure out how to make their meetings productive. You know, we often hear things like meetings suck or meetings are a waste of time and all these different things. And the thing that we think to ourselves is that's because it's not that meetings suck, it's that ineffective meetings are not great. And our goal is to take all of those meetings and make them productive work sessions. And in order to do that, during this release, what our team has worked on is a lot of little things that are going to make big differences. And that goes for everything from little workflows that we've introduced to make your meetings better. But we've also taken a step back and started to really think about people at the organizational level. Fellow is great for individual users, for teams, for departments, for divisions. But when you start to use Fellow with a larger group of people, there's a certain set of things that we can do and we can build to make the experience that much better. So today's release is also about helping you deliver organizational value so at the organization at large, you're not just looking at teams, but you can make meetings great for everyone. So there's a lot of stuff that we're excited to get to. So without further ado, let's dive into the Fellow 2021 Winter Update. Hello, good to see you, Manuela.
Hi, Aydin. It's great to be back for another product update. I'm so excited to see what you have to show us this time.
Yeah, and it's funny, like every time we do this, I have to tell people, like we do see each other outside of like these launches. It's just, you know, this is a cool event. We're so excited to show everybody what we've been working on.
I can't wait to see those new features.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be very excited. And, you know, we really cut it close to the wire this time. I'm going to say like a lot of these things were like pushed at the last second. But, you know, we have this launch date, we have this deadline, and so here we are. So very excited to dive right in. So should we just do it? The Winter Update 2021.
Let's go. Show us what's new in Fellow.
I think, you know, last time we kind of mentioned to folks that, you know, we have, if you don't have our desktop app, that is like almost like stop everything, go and download the desktop app. And then if you use Google Meet internally, obviously go out and get our Chrome extension. Those are just like table stakes. We announced it last time, but if you don't have those things, you have not experienced Fellow until you have those things. So that is an important, you know, I guess preamble. But with that said, so I have our desktop app open, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to, you know, before I even click on this event, you see it says Fellow Winter 2021 Update Live. And before, if you hovered over your events in your calendar, we have these different icons, and you'll notice that they're gone now. And instead of that, we have this new kebab menu. And kebab menu is always like funny to me, but
it's better than calling it 3 dots.
I like the 3 dots. What's wrong with 3 dots? I like the you know, the triple dot menu. So we've been trained though by our designers kebab menu. But what happens when you click on it? Let's see. So you get this new drop down. And you can, of course, see the event details. You can, of course, hide this event. And a lot of people ask us, like, I take my dog out for a walk in the morning. I don't want that to show up in Fellow. You know, I still like to see it in Fellow because you know, Fellow like tells me what I'm doing from thing to thing, but some people don't. And so you can hide those events in Fellow. And of course, you can say if you're attending it or not. Super useful, right? So some of these things, we're just trying to reduce the friction so that you don't have to go to your calendar to do something. You can go back. But the thing that I really want to show you is the edit event function. And you'll notice that it's actually disabled here because I don't actually have access to that event. I'm not the organizer, but I am the organizer for this other event. So when I click on edit event, you get this beautiful little screen and all the attendees are here, and I can actually make changes to this event without ever leaving Fellow, which I think is incredible.
And these changes will be translated in your calendar. So like if I remove a participant, if I change the date, everything.
Yes, 100%. You can even add optional attendees. Like I can add you to this event. I can remove like the conferencing. I can add back Google Meet. So it tells me about Google Meet because I have the, obviously it knows I have Google and I use Meet and like we're very tied closely. If you're using Office or Google, we have a lot of very specific functionality for that. But here's the part that I like the most. So you can actually click on suggested times. If you wanted to change this, we check people's calendars and we'll tell you the times that actually work.
Wow, so Fellow knows when everyone in this meeting would be available if I had to change the date and time. That is really cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, super, super cool. You can save that. And of course, last time we announced that you can create new events in Fellow. So you can still do that without ever leaving your calendar or without ever leaving Fellow to go to your calendar. But now you can actually do the edit. So again, we're trying to make the experience that much more seamless so that for all those folks that have Fellow open throughout the day to really manage their day, this helps with those things. So there you have it. That is feature number one that we wanted to show you, which is event editing. All right. So are you ready for feature number two?
Yeah.
So let's do it. So the next thing that I want to show you is, so we're basically in this meeting. And now what I can do is I can click on any other meeting that we have that is a new meeting. And you can see I have this nice meeting called brand new meeting, right? How convenient. So if I click on this meeting, because it's a brand new meeting, one thing that you're going to notice is there's this beautiful template strip at the top. So it recognizes that, hey, this is a new meeting that you have. And it suggests that we can apply templates to this particular meeting. So I can obviously apply some of the suggested templates that Fellow is telling me about, or I can click on Browse All Templates. And when I do that, you get our brand new template interface. So we're calling this Templates 2.0. And the reason is it's really powerful. And we basically redesigned the experience. So there's a lot that you can do. You can obviously search for things, whatever. If I, for example, search for marketing, you can see that there's like a marketing team meeting template. And whenever you find something you like, you can preview it. And then if you like it, you can copy that to your templates and then make, changes from there. So, I'm just going to go ahead and by the way, like there's all of these categories. You could go to meetings category, priorities category, one-on-ones category. You could go to your templates. And then the other thing you can do is you can actually star things. So if you really like this, say like this 5-minute journal template, and if you star it, then what happens is it's going to show up in your starred templates.
That's so cool. I love this new templates section.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to apply this marketing team meeting template. And here's what's really cool is, especially when this is a recurring meeting, what you want to do is you want to set this as the default. And when you do that and you press apply, then anytime you have a new note as part of that meeting stream, right, this template is going to be the one that applies. So I wanted to show you that template strip. So that's only going to show up for anything that's a new meeting that you don't already have a template set for. So now let me go back to our event, our live event here. And I can see that you've obviously typed a bunch of things here.
I've been taking notes.
Which is great. So we can see everything that we're working on. But say that I wanted to make a change to this meeting, and I wanted it to be, I wanted a win section. So anybody who saw our last, I guess, launch knows that you can type / and then you can obviously add headers. So in this case, I'm going to say big wins because I kind of like that. And you can also do something like put in an emoji, which is nice. And then I also like to put in highlights. But these are all things that you may have seen in our last launch. So if I go beneath this right now, I'm just going to create a talking point. And you saw that keyboard shortcut, parentheses open, parentheses close, and a space, which is always really cool to do. And, we had a big launch. So now I have this new formatting. And, for the talking points, I want to kind of make this nicer too. So maybe I am going to go here and put an emoji, maybe, a microphone emoji for talking points. And I also want to, change it up. And so now we have this like nice looking template, I would say. So now what you can do is you can go to the kebab menu, and then you can come here and then say save as template. So that is really powerful because as soon as you have something that you have now saved as a template, you can make some changes to it. So maybe I don't want this stuff in the template. Like this is the content of the meeting, right? So now I can,
Exactly.
delete this stuff because that's not going to be part of my template, because that's what's going to happen every single time. And by the way, as I'm doing this, do you mind changing the meeting to make it a recurring event if we haven't done that? I know like it's a launch and we're only doing it today, but if you can make it a recurring event, there's something really cool I want to show you in the background.
See, I think we made this a recurring event. Yeah, it says it's weekly on Thursday.
Perfect. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna save this template. And so now this is the template, and especially if this is a recurring event, you're going to be able to go there. So what I might do right now is I might go here and then go back here so that I can see that, yes, now this is a weekly recurring event. I just had to refresh my screen. So now, if you've been using Fellow for a while, you know that this plus button has always been here. And especially when it's a recurring event, when you click on this, we used to get this like note wizard, and it was clunky and it was big, and it did serve a purpose, right? It helped you select a template, but now we have a much better way for you to basically select a template. Whenever it's a new meeting, we're going to show you that beautiful strip that we just showed you. And you can always, apply a template by going to the kebab menu over here and applying a template. So that, but longtime Fellow users will say that, well, I like that note wizard because I had the opportunity to carry forward talking points and action items. And of course, this is one of the magical things about Fellow, which is you can carry forward talking points and action items. And now let's show you what it's going to look like. So let's click on this plus button and see what happens. And there you have it. So first of all, we have talking points and big wins, right?
That's the template you created for
the one that we just created,
recurring meetings. That's awesome.
Which is amazing. And so now you can see this thing. It says carry forward 6 incomplete talking points from previous note. So it's asking us if we want to do it. We like this interaction a lot better because it doesn't get in the way. It's not multiple clicks where you see this note wizard. So we made this interaction a lot better. And now let's see what happens if I press yes. So as soon as I press yes, obviously it's going to carry everything forward. Voila, perfect. But check out this message here. It says, did you know you can customize your carry forward settings? Actually, maybe I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so let's click on open settings and see what happens. And now we get this really cool brand new thing that we also are launching called stream settings. Now, what stream settings is it's the ability for you to make settings that apply to every meeting in that recurring stream, right? And so as you can see, amongst the settings that we can change are talking points and action items for carry forward. So you notice that when I started this new meeting, the meeting note was asking me if I wanted to carry forward these talking points. And because in my settings, the default that we put on new meetings is ask me. And so because the default is ask me, it's going to ask me every single time. And for action items, currently the default is never. So never carry forward action items. But say that you have a different idea on how that should work. You can actually change that. So for action items, you can say, ask me, in which case it'll ask you every time that you have a new meeting. You can click always, in which case it's just automatically going to do it every time, or you can have it as never. I tend to choose never. And the reason is we have the action items tab at the top, which I'll show you in a second. But for talking points, I basically want that to happen every time. So I'm just going to click on always. And by the way, while I'm here in the stream settings, you can also update your template from here. And we're going to be adding more and more settings as time goes. But as I X out of this, I can X out of this over here. And so let's try that. Let me start a new meeting as part of this recurring series. And so now it just created this brand new note. And you'll notice this time it did not ask me if I wanted to carry forward the talking points. It just did it automatically. What's nice about that is, again, you don't see this clunky editor. It's fast. You click the button, the new note is created as part of that recurring stream. It is, again, for us, it's all about reducing friction to make these things better.
And Aydin, let's say I want to change those settings. Like I can just go back and say, like, you know what? Instead of always, I want to go back to ask me.
Yeah, you can do that at any time. And let me show you how to do it. It's just at the top right. If you click on more actions and you go to stream settings, you can now just modify the carry forward settings at any point in time.
Yeah, that's very cool. And you were telling us that you prefer to check the action items tab. Why is that? And can you show us how you do it?
Yeah, absolutely. So as part of any meeting, you'll notice that there's an action items tab at the top. And so I start every meeting, as you know, first thing I do is say, let's check out the action items. There's a download our desktop app and Chrome extension, and it has not been completed yet. So that is the first thing that we like to do in all of our meetings. And if we've been running this meeting for 3 years, this action items tab in one shot is going to show you everything that is still not complete.
That's amazing. So yeah, people don't have to worry about carrying forward those action items. They can just visit that action items tab.
Exactly. That's cool. And for people who don't want to do that and want to carry forward action items, you can do that as well. Where the setting is. And of course, we're only going to carry forward. And if you want to be asked every time, you can do that. Our default is to ask you every time for talking points. And for action items, it's currently set as never, but we leave it up to you, our great users. Yeah, so super exciting thing. And what I want to do is I want to shift our focus a little bit now and want to show you some of the organizational settings that we've built. So, a lot of people, there's people who are single person organizations that use Fellow. There's teams that use Fellow. There's departments. And we obviously also have a lot of very large companies, from like 50 people to the many thousands of people that use Fellow across the board. And so for those folks, we did a little bit of extra work to make sure that like Fellow on an organizational level can deliver a lot of value. So the first thing that I want to show you there is if you click on this, your profile picture or your logo, and you see this menu, you now see that we have templates as a first-class citizen. To us, templates are workflows and they're better ways to move work forward because, one of the things that we often say at Fellow is that we want your meetings to help you move work forward. And so templates are really an important part of that because it's a common way. Once in an organization, you figure out how to run a certain type of meeting, say like you have a retrospective meeting or a 5 whys meeting or any sort of thing that you do often, why not share that with the whole organization so every team in the company can run those meetings in the same way? And of course, like we showed you, you can copy templates and make them your own. But what a great way to have onboard the people in your company and get them to start with templates. So if you go to your template section, here's all the templates that currently exist. These are my templates. I've created a lot personally, but you can also go to Workspace templates. So these are things that we have just within Fellow that we've made available for everybody in the company that we want people to use. And of course, you can also see all the other types that are there. And of course, by default, we show you the meeting templates. But if you have feedback enabled and you're using Fellow for feedback across your organization, obviously, you can also click on feedback templates and go and make the changes that you want there. So very easy way to get to templates. We showed you about Workspace templates. So something that we highly encourage for you to check out and to make use of.
That's awesome. And as an admin, people can go in and create a template, and then everyone in the company can use that template, right? So
100%.
it's such a great way to, like you said, like spread those really great habits of leaders. So if someone in your company has a great meeting template that has been working for them, why not share it with all the other leaders in the company?
Yeah, 100%. And so you're also doing some great work in getting like expert templates both into the product and on the site too, right?
Yeah, we're interviewing a wide variety of experts and thought leaders, and we continue to do that. We do research every month on what are the meetings that they're running, the templates that they're using, and we're currently updating our website to include all those templates. So the audience will be able to see a lot of new templates coming soon.
That's awesome. So with that said, along the theme of helping organizations, deliver more value to organizations, I want to show you something really cool. So if I go to my workspace settings, obviously there's a lot of settings that you can change. If you go to your integrations section, you're going to see this really cool thing called SCIM, SCIM, however you want to pronounce it. If you are an IT administrator, you're probably doing a happy dance right now. And, I would be too. Anybody who is using Okta out there, we get asked about Okta a lot. If you are a part of our org plan, you now have access to this, and we can work with your Okta configuration. This is for user provisioning and deprovisioning. As I said, especially when you're at a larger company, obviously people join your teams, they change teams, sometimes they leave the company, and it's a lot of work to kind of like maintain who has access to what. Using our new user provisioning APIs, you can have all those things set on autopilot and it'll sync with your internal systems. So it is great. It is a little outside the scope here today for me to demo this, but reach out to us if you're interested and we can help you get set up. So again, like along this theme of organizational value, I want to show you one other thing. Obviously we're on a test account right now, but I'm going to jump into the analytics section to show you our brand new analytics page. So
I think this one deserves a drum roll.
It does deserve a drum roll.
It's really cool.
Really cool. So here we go. So this is a sample data set that we're showing you. This company here has 84 users, 59 of them are active. So that's 84.4%. And it's 27 more people over the last 60 days. So I can kind of view like how many people are using Fellow on an active basis, which is really cool. And if I scroll down a little bit more, we obviously people use Fellow for all their meetings, but one of the meetings that we have been asked about a lot is one-on-one meetings that people have. And one of the questions that we get asked is, well, how do I know if people are doing one-on-ones, on what cadence, and which teams are doing it, and which teams are not? This new interface and this new manager one-on-ones is going to allow you to figure that out. So you can see that in this company, 78.6% of the one-on-ones that could have happened between manager and direct reports have actually happened. So I guess like when you see something like this, you probably get curious,
who is not having their one-on-ones.
Right. Yeah. Who's not having their one-on-ones. And so the good news is you can actually do some digging and figure out what's going on. and dive in and figure out those things, which we'll show you how to do in a second. We can also show you meetings, what's going on in terms of meetings. And what's really cool is, like, check this out. It's also like how many unique participants were there, how many unique meetings were there. All that information is there. Action items, even notes edited. So that's there, and even feedback. And so this is just the beginning. We're going to be adding a lot more functionality in here, but I really like this manager one-on-one setting. And there's a bunch more things that you can do. You can obviously export the data from here. And we have this new thing called a hierarchy filter. So this is really powerful because when I click on it, I can search for any user that I want. But as soon as I choose a person, we can see all the people within that person's team. So if I go ahead and click on admin, you can see that in this case, there's 9 users. This is kind of like, it seems like most of the users are active like most of the days. And you can see the manager one-on-one score for his organization is only 66.7. So you might, like, if this person, you might want to reach out and say, hey, what is going on here? And kind of follow up. But you can basically see the scores. And so this is really interesting, right? So if you're looking at a VP, you're going to see everybody that rolls up into them. If you then go to one of their direct reports, which might be a director, you're going to see everybody that kind of rolls up to them, and so on and so forth. So very powerful. You can also change the date range that you see this data. And there is a members tab. And so what's cool about the members tab is you're going to be able to see all the people who are part of that organization, but you also get to see the one-on-ones, and you see like 2 people here have a percentage associated with them. And the reason is that these 2 are managers, and it kind of allows you to, in one shot, be able to compare and see how things go across. So if you're looking at the whole organization, you're going to see the CEO and everybody that reports to them and like how their orgs are doing. And it allows you to do kind of just a comparative analysis of what's going on. So let's go back into our meeting and click on this event. And so this is, I think, we talked about a lot of things. We should probably do a quick recap of everything that we talked about.
Yeah, you have to go to our March 4th meeting.
Oh, right. The audience following around, obviously, like, we created this fake recurring meeting, and so we just kept going forward and creating new notes to show you carry forward. But here we are. So this is March 4th. Obviously today is the 18th and it's not March 4th, but let's run through the things that we talked about in rapid succession. And then we're going to wrap it up with a big surprise and show you the things that Alexandra and the ecosystems team here at Fellow have been working on. But very quickly, you can now obviously edit events directly within Fellow. Just click on the triple dot menu, the kebab menu, go to edit event, and you can edit those events right there. We have templates version 2.0. You can save something as a template from that menu. You can make the edits right here. Before, you had to actually go to another page and it was inconvenient. You can do this all here. We have this brand new way to browse all of your templates and categorize them. This is super, super powerful. We also talked about workspace level templates that you can see. And so if you have great workflows that you want to share with others on your team, you have the ability to do that. We have made carry forward a lot easier, right? And so now we want you to be able to get to your next meeting very quickly. Click the plus button and you go to that next recurring instance instantly. And so in order to enable that, we've taken a lot of the things that are settings for every meeting in that recurring series, and we've created this thing in more actions called stream settings. So in stream settings, you can obviously edit your template for that meeting stream, or you can go to carry forward and have options here that you can modify and make them your own. We talked about user provisioning through SCIM. So if you're an Okta user, you will be very happy. And of course, we also talked about the analytics section for the analytics section that just gives you organizational level information. And with that said, what are we doing next?
Well, I just wanted to say these are a lot of updates. So it's very exciting to see all these things in the product. And coming up, we have Alexandra from the ecosystem team who's going to talk about a very exciting integration. So stay tuned.
Hi everyone, Alexandra here. I'm an engineering manager at Fellow, and I'm very excited to tell you more today about some of the features that the team has been adding to our Microsoft Teams integration. If you've already installed our integration, you'll have come across some of our great features like being able to add a Fellow tab directly to a team channel and see all of your notes in one spot, or even being able to go to a chat message and send that directly to a one-on-one or meeting agenda without ever having to leave Microsoft Teams. Some of the work that we've been doing over the last little while involves adding new features based on some new functionality that Microsoft Teams has. More on that later. But what I want to start off by showing you is this brand new set of notifications that we're sending out via our Teams bot. Now, the one that I have on my screen here is our daily digest. You might already be getting this over email. Now you have the option of sending this to yourself through Teams as well. So first I want to start off with this notification that I have up on my screen here, and this is the daily digest. This might be something that you're already getting over email, but now you can send it to yourself in Teams as well. This digest has a lot of information in it to help you plan out your day, like a list of upcoming meetings with quick links to get to the notes for those, and then also a selection of the action items that were assigned to you over the last day. If you have one-on-ones planned for the day, they'll also show up here with a number of talking points that you and your report have added or you and your manager have added. And if there are any birthdays coming up that you should know about, those will be included here as well. You have the option of enabling this as a daily digest or as a weekly digest, but this will be sent to you within the Fellow chat. Now, what we have down below here is another feedback notification. This time asking me if I can provide feedback to someone about a specific team meeting that I went to. Within Fellow already, you can do this. You can send out feedback requests about meetings, about people, about yourself, and even give unsolicited feedback to anyone about anything. Now we can answer and send those requests via Teams as well. So I'm going to go ahead and reply to this feedback request directly from Microsoft Teams. Now, how do I think that went? I think that meeting went great. And that feedback gets sent off to the recipient. Now, because I was actually the one who requested that feedback of myself, I've now gotten a notification from Fellow letting me know that that feedback has been collected. Yes, that meeting went great. If you want to give someone feedback, all you have to do is go to a chat, find the Fellow icon down here, and along with the existing options that we had about adding different chat messages to different streams, we now have these two where you can give feedback and ask for feedback. I'm going to give feedback to someone on my team. Looks good. This feedback will now be sent to both me and my team member through Microsoft Teams and will be available on Fellow in the feedback section. And on top of those notifications and the daily digest notifications, some of the other things that we've been enabled are things like notifications for one-on-ones. So within Fellow, you can choose that every X number of minutes before a one-on-one, you'll get a notification from this bot letting you know that you're about to meet with someone, and it will list out some talking points that they've added so that you can go into that meeting prepared and ready to have a great conversation. When you're having those meetings, one of the things that we noticed before is that it can be a bit of a struggle on a video call to both see people on the screen and then also see your notes within Fellow, and you might have to do a bit of juggling with the tabs or moving windows over and really making sure that everything fits. We now have a great solution for that with Microsoft Teams' new meeting extension. So I'm going to jump over here to my calendar and find our Winter Fellow Update event. I'm going to jump in here to chat with participants. Now, The exciting thing is that before we had the ability to add Fellow tabs to team channels and to group chats, which would show up here, and you could easily jump in and see your Fellow notes with a stream that you've selected for that channel. What's exciting here is that this isn't just a team channel or a group chat. This is an actual meeting instance. And what you can do now is add a Fellow tab, and it will automatically pull in the stream for that particular meeting and attach it here so that you can keep the context of your entire workflow for a particular meeting, especially if it's recurring, within the same one spot in Microsoft Teams. So here I'm going to jump into the Fellow stream that we've set up, and this shows me my notes for our winter Fellow update. Now, the very exciting part is when I join this meeting. Let's go on mute here. So when I join this meeting, I now have the option of, let me make this a tad bigger. There we go. I now have the option of clicking on this new Fellow icon up here and actually seeing that note that I've set up, the one that's directly tied to this meeting, directly within Microsoft Teams. And I can add new talking points. I can write from here, and I no longer have to juggle different tabs or rearrange my screen so that I can see my notes. And this is all available. It is the full notes editor. And we're very excited about this new feature for our integration. And that is all that I have to show for you today. There are a lot of different other new features available here. I hope you'll download the integration and check it out. Thanks.
Thank you, Alexandra. I think that was incredible. I know that all the people out there using MS Teams or on the Office 365 ecosystem, I know you're all very excited, so go out and get the app. It is amazing. We think it's going to change the way that you run your meetings. It's going to change the way that you manage your teams. And we're so excited to get your feedback. Use the app. Tell us what you think. And also, tell us about things that you'd like to see in it. Send that to us. We're always rapidly iterating on this stuff, so we're eager to get your feedback. And of course, if you haven't done so already, you see that subscribe button at the bottom of this video. Click it. Yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you want to do this because we use this YouTube channel. We're building a community on it. You can see all the latest videos. We're going to post tips and tricks, video tutorials, all the different things that we're doing in Fellow. We're updating the product so rapidly now that we want to just very visually show you some of the cool things that you can do, some of the use cases you can implement, and you could really use YouTube to do that. And we also post a lot of content as it relates to interviews that we do with experts in productivity, in management, in meetings. All this stuff is going to be available in our YouTube channel. So click on that subscribe button. And with that said, from all of us at Fellow, thank you all to our users, to our supporters. Thank you for all your support, for all your feedback, for all your comments. We do all of what we do for you. And so a very sincere thank you, and we hope to see you in the next update.